The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
All right.
Can I give you a pet peeve without mentioning any names?
Yeah.
Pet peeve is this. Pet peeve for me today is media guy or draft guy. That we've now. Would you say there was plenty of time leading up to the draft to properly formulate who you thought the best list of players were? So
No, there really wasn't.
Right?
We needed a little more time.
Annoying for me is
Wish
now
the draft were next week.
Well, annoying for me now is like the re-narrative after the fact of whether it's a reporter covering their hometown team or whether it's one of the draft guys, now positioning a guy as like one of the most talented guys in the draft. Well, why didn't you ever say his name before the draft? Like Chason. I've seen,
Chason.
like Dave Caldwell, number 4. I read, so I don't even remember where I read it. One of the evaluations of, they got what might be the most talented player in the draft. What?
Yeah.
Like hell? Who?
Yeah.
So that's my
That's your pet peeve?
That's my pet peeve guy today.
The update, quick update on the walkathon.
Oh.
Rumor has it that big W for Dan on Sunday, but yesterday I opened the door. I was busy, and I only was able to, very slow day. Thank you, friend. Only able to procure 27,000 steps.
I mean, that's still an insane amount of steps. I mean, that's what you were going as like that was a high mark when you started this thing. So that means he had to go 50,000 steps.
Yeah.
To even have a chance.
Well, no, if he went, he'd have to go a big number.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
so
done.
we're trying
He's
to
cooked. I'm guessing that
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
he's
3 days
you,
left.
and he's sitting down there and he's drinking beer on his deck in the afternoons.
He probably
and he's
is.
not walking, and you're just extending a lead to nowhere.
That would be disappointing. I saw. I think the big takeaway. Oh, quick update by the way. On the at Dan Hicken, if you want to vote, the Drill Bit Bracket Challenge presented by the Edge Group, 904-474-5851. B 54% Dan, 45% early on. Almost 200 votes are in.
Wow.
If you would like to vote, so national championship continues. Beef with an early lead.
If you have a drop in that would summarize your thoughts on what's happened
vote with your hearts, Googans.
to this point,
Well, that was a poor one.
that's a quip. Yeah.
That just cost you a vote.
I'm endearing myself.
Tough
to the
crowd
electorate.
now. We're all rooting for it's getting rooting for. Now you're gonna snipe at him.
Oh, I'm not going to snipe. I'm
Who are you,
fine.
Big Bo?
Here we go. Here we go. I'm not the one. Well, I'm not going to do it.
Do it.
We'll just go back and review the Twitter comments when you say, "Who are you, Big Bo?"
Oh, no.
Yeah. Look at some of the stuff that you've sent out over the last couple days.
Hey.
Look at that.
All's fair in love and war. there.
Okay, so it's fair then.
I like freebasing.
Thank you. The Last Dance, the big takeaway from parts 3 and 4 of The Last Dance, at least the news cycle, is the whole Isaiah Thomas walk-off, dream team snub, et cetera, with Jordan. And so I was thinking about the 90, that was 92, right? The 92 dream was the dream team year, correct?
Yeah.
And 88, we lost the Olympics in basketball. We got the bronze, right?
With the
In
college
Seoul,
kids. Yeah.
Right?
With the college guys.
Right. So then they said, okay,
We're going to play pros.
that's never going to happen again. We're going pros. You're going to go pros. We're going to go pros, and we're going to annihilate you. We're going to put together the greatest team ever.
And they did.
So,
Is now, that gap is now shrinking, too.
and so Rod Thorne was the director of USA Basketball at the time, as far as I remember. Help me if I get any of this wrong. I'm just
Colangelo's involved. It may have been him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Rod Thorne. Rod Thorne. Now, the coach was Chuck Daly.
That's correct.
So Rod Thorne drafted MJ to the Bulls, not Jerry Krause, but it was Rod Thorne who drafted him. Is that right, Beef?
That is correct.
Okay, so Rod Thorne drafted MJ to the Bulls. Now, MJ had already won.
Now, what you're talking about, by the way, is not in episodes 3 and 4. So
No,
I'm you're just going from there.
Correct. I'm building off the.
I was disappointed in
walk-off.
3 and 4, by the way. I didn't think they were near as good as 1 and 2. I didn't learn anything in 3 and 4. Maybe because that Rodman doc is so fresh. We just watched that like last year.
Yeah, but Jordan going into
They didn't show much.
Rodman
I
out
was
of bed
expecting
with Carmen hiding behind the sheets. That's pretty good.
That was like 30 seconds of the whole 2 hours, though. They didn't.
Right.
I was expecting when you guys talked about that yesterday. I was expecting a bigger, explanation. But anyway, it was still good. Don't get me wrong, and we're jaded because we're so aware of all this stuff.
So 84, Jordan got his gold medal.
That's when I partied
Correct.
with him in the Pan Am games in Puerto Rico.
Right?
Yeah, just before he got the
All
summer
right,
before the draft.
So we get to 92, and they decide they want to put together the, quote, dream team. Well, the dream team has to include the best player in the game because at that time, it's Jordan
Absolutely.
over Magic and Larry.
It's not even close. He's head and shoulders the best player.
And he wasn't so sure he wanted to do
Well,
it.
that's my point. So MJ is like, I need some convincing. I've already gotten the gold medal. I don't think I want to do this. And so they go to him and they say, okay, well, who do you want? And so the story goes that he was provided with a couple rosters. Is that fair? Is that what we've heard?
Yeah, there's really basically just one glaring difference.
Bottom line is
on the
he did
roster.
not want Isaiah. He hates Isaiah.
Yeah.
Now, my point is, the question I have is, where does the hate come from? I
Well,
know that's part of it. There's more
There's
to
more.
it.
The All-Star game freeze out, too.
Okay, what happened there?
I think it was 89
All
All-Star
right.
game, 88.
Okay.
Isaiah got the Eastern Conference veterans all together to ice out Jordan.
Ah.
Don't get him the rock. Don't let him shoot.
Okay.
Ice him out.
Okay.
Oh, he hates Isaiah.
Because Isaiah came out yesterday and said, if the reason why I wasn't on the dream team was because of the walk-off, then I'd be more hurt today than I ever have been, And
Isaiah should have been on. That's very petty on Jordan's part. Shame on him.
It
Shame
is-
on him.
It is petty.
I mean,
The 85 All-Star game.
All kinds of stuff go back.
84, you said?
85.
85. So in the 85
Jordan
All-Star...
wasn't in the 85 All-Star game, was he? Wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. 85 would have been. No, yeah, that would have been. Wouldn't that have been his last? 85 would have. No, anyway. Okay.
Or maybe it dates back to 85.
Yeah. Damn it, Beef.
I'm
Know your
reading the
goals.
article. The headline, it says 85 All-Star game, Jordan freeze out.
Okay, well, that's it then. That'll work. You're right. I guess he would have been drafted
Well,
in
my
84.
point is, so there's always been this rift between Isaiah and Jordan Really doesn't like him and didn't want to spend the summer with him. So he's got back at him by getting him off the team because, they had Stockton and Magic were the point guards, right? Isaiah should have been on the team.
Isaiah was one of the top.
Yeah.
Isaiah was a beast, man.
Yeah.
What he did against the Lakers when he had that damn near broken ankle.
Yeah.
Remember that quarter he had against them?
Yes.
He was a tough. I mean, he seemed so sweet and delicate, but
Yes.
that guy's a stone cold killer, man.
No question.
And he should have been on the team. And
he
it's
was
shame
like,
on Jordan.
He did everything in the NBA.
He's a great
and
player.
College, and he
Great
was
player.
everything, right?
His whole career. Yeah, that's why.
But Isaiah, you got to remember.
You can
now,
even argue Isaiah's underrated, like on the all-time list. You can make an argument for Isaiah Thomas being a top 10, 15 player.
Let me ask you this. Isaiah, I think, I could have these wrong. Was Isaiah ever on an Olympic team? Because I think he was on the team that boycotted.
84 would have been. He wasn't an 80.
No, 80.
Yeah.
Wouldn't he have been 80? Would he have boycotted
Yeah, that's
Moscow?
right. He won the title with Indiana in like 81, right?
So I think 80 would have been his year to be on the Olympics.
And they didn't have one.
And they didn't have Olympics, so he never got the Olympic experience, I don't think.
Huh. That's probably true. That sounds right.
Because you
to
think
me.
about it, then
they're not going to put him on in '96. He's gone by then.
So
Pretty
you
much.
compare Isaiah to like a guy like Melo, who, by the way, has won like 3 gold medals or whatever. It's funny, but you only get
Yeah, it doesn't show any Olympic medals on his his profile.
Yeah, because back then you only got one shot.
Yeah, when you were a college.
When you were a college kid, you had to go to the Olympics.
Would it be a bad idea, bad rule to make one shot now and continue to use pros, but cycle through them?
Yeah.
Right. Like you said, he would have been on that 80 team, Dan.
He would have,
Because he was
right?
on the 79 team at the Pan Am Games.
Right.
But then they sat out the Olympics.
Right. So he missed out. So 92 was important to him, too. So MJ definitely got him back by not letting him be on that. That bothered him.
Shame on USA Basketball. Shame on them all. Why?
Well, because then they wouldn't have got Jordan, though.
Well, but still, I mean,
They had
get
to
people
have
that want to
Jordan.
go.
Well, they had to have
Why?
Jordan.
They would have won by a million
It's not
points.
about winning. It's about the whole, look.
So you rather have – this is like damn near anti-American. It's ironic that it's Olympic.
Uh-huh.
You'd rather have a guy for the sake of him deciding who you can't have.
They would. I'm not saying I would. I'm saying that's what that was the
weak.
deal.
I don't like that.
And I think he had Rod Thorne in his corner. Obviously, Chuck Daly didn't get to pick the team, I don't think. I'm sure he had some say.
No,
but
USA Basketball picks.
Yes. So
just
Chuck
coach.
Daly was the coach, and
So basically, they ended up going with Stockton
right.
over Isaiah.
Well, Stockton's a good player too, but he ain't
sure.
Isaiah.
No,
If I got a game
wasn't
tomorrow, I'm taking Isaiah over any point guard you're telling me on that team.
And by the way,
Magic.
the wheels hadn't
Take it
come
Magic.
off Isaiah.
Well,
He,
Magic that is not really a point guard. You're right.
the season before that Olympics, he
Uh-huh.
averaged 18.5 points, 7.2 assists a game.
Who, Isaiah?
Yeah.
So he was about done.
That was his third from final year.
My point is, back then it was a story. I think it became a bigger story when they did the documentary on the Dream Team, and the story came out about Jordan and Isaiah, and it's become a bigger story again. Now, I'll give one guy credit. Like, Isaiah is basically like remorseful about the whole thing. Bill Laimbeer, not so much. Bill Laimbeer took to the media yesterday and goes, "Look," he goes, "I don't care what the media says about me. If I cared what the media says about me, I would have been different for a long time." He said, "They whined about every call. I didn't feel like shaking their hands."
Yeah, that's fair. But Lambeer is also a jerk, and they should whine about every call. What the Pistons did to the Bulls wasn't basketball, and the NBA, and it wouldn't survive today in the NBA. Half those guys would be suspended for the next game.
No doubt, but it was
I don't
way
consider.
back then.
In fact, I would say that Michael Jordan went out of his way not to whine while you thugs played something that wasn't basketball.
Michael Jordan, that is correct. I think on the
So,
court,
to
Michael
use that-
Jordan handled himself
Yeah.
well. He, like, I always think, like, LeBron gets touched and his head wheels towards the officials.
That's a new phenomenon.
Yeah, they didn't do that back
Right.
then.
All players do.
Jordan
that
would
now.
get knocked to the ground,
He'd just get back up.
and walk to the free throw
Right.
line.
Back then they fought.
Yes.
They don't do that now.
And in the Last Dance, which you saw, one of the things that they showed was Jordan hitting the weight room. He had never done that
Correct.
before, and he got with that guy Grover. I think that was his name, Tim Grover, and who was became his personal guy, and and that guy even talked about Jordan's work ethic, though.
I'm not a big fan of how they're putting it together either. And I'll give you, for instance, we were building up to the whole Scottie Pippen, conflict, and then we just gone 2 without delving back into that, right? See, episode 2 built to Scottie Pippen done as a Bull. Is he going to come back? The conflict that created within the team. And now we just went through 3 and 4, and it wasn't even mentioned as an up.
Well, you're agreeing with what Joe Yu said yesterday. Joe Yu doesn't like the way he jumps around.
Yeah, I don't mind some. I'm agreeing to that point. Not overall. I don't mind it jumping around. I kind of like the jump around, to be honest with you. But I didn't like building to a solution with Pippen and then just letting it go for 2 episodes and not even addressing it at all.
Yeah, I think and again, I think that a couple of things that I took away as I look back, that's to me seemed to be the news cycle story that they tried to get their tentacles in yesterday was the whole Dream Team Isaiah Thomas thing. And then the other thing is, I thought in parts 3 and 4, they kind of came back and Jerry Krause, who was so hated because of breaking up the team, he's the villain in this, but he did put that team together and learning of listen, it was a gutsy move to fire Doug Collins and hire Phil Jackson. That was a gutsy, and to change the way that they played. And that was their response to, we can't beat Detroit the way we're playing it because these guys kill Michael and we have nobody else yet. So we got to get some other guys who are better and run a different offense to where there are other options.
And that was smart. It worked. It gave another 3 titles.
But think about it. Back then, if you're like, I don't know, man, Jordan scored 38 a game here. Why am I going to take the ball out of his hands? Well, we're not taking it out. It was. I thought that was
just still have the ball when he needs it.
I thought that was a gutsy move, nonetheless. So
yeah, and it worked for sure. And then Phil Jackson, as they say, the rest is history. There's another feud that's continuing, even though the NBA is not playing. The latest. Did you see the latest with Charles Barkley and Draymond Green?
No.
Barkley is on a podcast with John Calipari, or a Facebook Live or something.
Okay.
It's called Coffee with Cal.
Coffee with Cal.
Yeah. Well,
who knew he had a show?
The topic of Draymond Green came up.
Okay.
This is what. Now remember, back in February, Barkley criticized Draymond. He's never been big on the Warriors, and Green criticized Green's effort after he was ejected in a game. Then Green fought back, said he could do Barkley's job better than him, and then told him, by the way, nice championship ring. saying Barkley's jealous of him. Well, now this comes yesterday. Barkley on Draymond Green. He's the worst member of the boy band who doesn't realize he's standing next to Timberlake. When the girls are throwing panties at his head, he's going to get hit by some drive-by panties, but they're really meant for Timberlake. So I guess Barkley thinks that Curry and Thompson and Durant are more.
Well, in fairness, not having Clay and Curry, the Warriors had the worst team in the NBA.
Yeah.
So he's kind of this era's Rodman in a way. I
think so.
Rodman by himself wouldn't do squat diddly poo.
I think
but he's a great accent to the dirty work guy, the rebound guy.
I think there's a level of surprise that Draymond Green's stats and ball dominance didn't go up during this season.
Yeah.
This is a year where, and I think that Draymond Green, in a way, stopped himself from being exposed as not very skilled offensively. But he's a good player.
Good player.
And
a great fit.
And I will say this, too. I think if Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Durant were gone and it was just Steph, that they still would have been a terrible team. They need all those.
Yeah, I don't think they would have been just the worst team in the NBA, though.
Yeah, before Steph went out, they weren't playing very good, even with Steph and Draymond.
My 15-year-old asked me this yesterday.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the names. He said, who would get the rebound? Draymond Green, Dennis Rodman,
Bill Russell,
Ben Wallace.
Oh.
It was more contemporary.
No, that's a 100%. This is Rodman is the answer to this.
Is it?
Ben Wallace is probably second. Draymond's too short.
You know, what's funny is I wish I could remember the other two because there were two others, but I have voted for Ben Wallace.
I think Ben Wallace is second. That's what I said. Ben Wallace could battle Rodman probably. In their prime, though, Rodman was – I've never seen –
Now, you throw Bill Russell out, that's different.
Yeah, because he's older, but he was the best rebounder in history.
Did they show a stat in The Last Dance that Rodman had like 7 games where he had 0 points and 20-plus rebounds?
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay.
He also led the NBA in rebounding 7 years in a row, and that's never happened. He's the only person to ever do that.
Incredible.
Yeah, he was.
When he was young, too, with the Pistons, I've never seen like a pogo stick rebounder like that guy.
Right. It'd go down,
boing. He refused to not get the basketball.
But Bill Russell was
he's standalone, right?
Yeah. I mean, Bill Russell would get 36 rebounds in a game.
Yeah.
That was a different time. And,
he was back then a 7-footer was like 6 inches taller than everyone.
Yeah. So, but it was interesting. But yeah. So. Anyway, just some Last Dance thoughts.
That's fun. It's a good watch. Don't get me wrong, but when you're as big as and diehard as sports fans as we are, and you've watched and seen so much, including watching that entire era, I was hoping for just a little more wow.
Yeah,
I did not know that. I'm reminded of some stuff, and there's certainly some intel in there that you don't know, but there's also a lot of just reminders of the era. And
when we come back, Jeff Passan says there will be baseball in 2020.
That seems to be the word.
So we'll examine that a little bit.
They're thinking about, by the way, some kooky rules. So we'll go over some of those as well, which would include a designated hitter in the National League among them. So
we'll continue our discussion on.
I know that Jacksonville's 2 favorite things are the NFL, and the NFL draft, and Major League Baseball perhaps starting.